So, Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today, our topic is that's evolution. Okay, and in the previous topics, we studied Mandela's work and about that the transmission of characters and the number of factors that are responsible sex discrimination sex discrimination, how we can determine the sex of an individual or an organism. So today we'll discuss about the evolution. What's evolution all about? Okay, evolution, what evolution is all about, and what's evolution and what are the evidences of evolution. Now listen here. As there are enormous number of and the types of living organisms. We are just finding the number of enormous number of infinite number of plants and animals around ourselves. They and they we just find that this number of plants and the enormous number of animals, they show a difference in their phenotypes, in their morphology, in their we find them a difference in their phyllotaxy in case of plants, in case of inflorescence. So we are finding the number of different we are finding the great variety of living organisms that exist on the earth. Okay, we find the number of and the great variety of living organisms on the earth. An important question arises there: how and from where these organisms arise? Okay, how and from where such a great variety of living organisms come to exist on the earth? Where they come, how they evolved, how the evolution has take place. This all what all makes us to study that we are finding the different number of living organisms around ourselves. In case of animals and in case of plants, there is a phenotypic difference, there is an anatomy, they are different in their anatomy. Okay, they show the difference in their physiology, what in their physiological activities rather. So the question is there that how and from where has such a great variety of living organisms come to exist on the earth, and and also when we will just discuss how human beings has evolved, how evolution has take place, and how human beings have been evolved on this earth. All these things are studied in the branch of biology. That branch of biology is called evolution. So different variations among the living organisms in their phenotype. Okay, where these such a great variety of living organism come to exist on the earth, how humans have evolved. All these things can be studied in the branch of biology, and the branch of biology is to be called as evolution. So that is to be called as evolution. As evolution makes we people to study the link between the different living organisms, or it makes we people to understand how different living organisms are linked together. Just I will give the simple examples you have studied in previous classes, like we are studying the gymnosperms, then we study the angiosperms also, then we study the pteridophytes also. Okay, we study the we study the just we have angiosperms are there, gymnosperms are there, pteridophytes are there. Okay, we studied all these living organisms. But when we study the higher level of organization, that which was having the complex in structure, they are the angiosperms. Coming down to their angiosperms, their level below to there, they are the gymnosperms. Below there is another level there come, that's pteridophytes, bryophytes, then again. So हम जब इनका स्टडी करते हैं तो हम ये बताते हैं हर एक स्टेप पे हम एक ऑर्गेनिज्म को complex देखते हैं. So this complexion has take place, this complexity in the living organisms has take place. So this is because of the evolution. So हम ये देखते हैं कि they are evolution also makes we people to study that how these living organisms are linked together. Okay, now question is there, what evolution is about. So the word evolution has derived from the Greek, it's from derived from the Latin word, okay, it's called evolve, and that means unroll or unfold. To unroll something or to unfold something means it makes you people to study, it makes you people to understand where from, or where from the living organisms you are just where from the complex living organisms have come from, or you, it will make us understand also how the different types of the living organisms, or different types of the living organisms are linked together. Okay, just we have a kingdom plantae, then in the kingdom plantae we are studying the, we are studying that of the gymnosperm, we are studying the angiosperms, we are studying the pteridophytes, we are studying the bryophytes. So this evolution also makes we people to understand how these different types of the plants, different types of the class of the plants are linked together. This is evolution what makes we people to understand that how the evolution has take place, and what are the different features that has that has an organism has achieved in the with the passing time. Okay, so we are going to discuss, we are just going to define what evolution is all about. So evolution, when we are going to define, we are finding that evolution is, it is the sequence of gradual changes which takes place in the primitive organism. It's a primitive organism over million of years in which new species are produced. Okay, so what's evolution is all about, how we can define the evolution. We are finding that evolution, it is the sequence of changes, a sequence of gradual changes. It's not abrupt but a gradual change. It take millions of years, it take thousands of years to get, not in a jiffy. It will not, the evolution does not, it will not happen in a jiffy, in a hundred of years, but it will take the thousands or millions of the years to get. So it's a gradual change, not an abrupt change. So the sequence of gradual changes which takes place in the primitive organism. What is primitive organism? It's a primitive organism. What's primitive? Primitive means the simple, that's least complex in organization, the least complex in organization, that's to be called as simple. And we come to know in the lower classes में जब आपने पढ़ा है prokaryote, eukaryote, primitive, prokaryote, primitive, least complex, where the simple cell wall is there, cell membrane is there, less developed cell organelles were there, nucleus were not surrounded by the nuclear membrane. So it's a primitive, an organization, least complex, where you are finding the when the evolution has take place, then you are finding the fungi, then you are finding the gymnosperms, then you are finding the angiosperms, then you are finding the pteridophytes, then you are finding the bryophytes. All they have the complex type of the cell, not in the complex type of cell, but also the complex type of organizations within the plants. Okay, then we just called evolution. हम ये फिर बताते हैं sequence of gradual change that take place in the primitive organisms, least complex organism, over a millions of years in which new species are formed, जिससे अब नई species बनते हैं. ठीक है, एक नई species बनते हैं. जैसे आप species की बात करते हैं, group of living organisms that are capable of interbreed. न्यू ऑर्गेनिज्म, जैसे मैंने अभी कहा, जब कॉन्सेप्ट आया डार्विन का, उसने कहा लाइफ हैज अराइज फ्रॉम दैट ऑफ द लीस्ट ऑर्गेनिज्म, लाइक all the animals that have arise from the virus and all the plants that have arise from the cyanobacteria. So cyanobacteria is the least complex. Then cyanobacteria से then हम बात करते हैं pteridophyta, bryophyta, angiosperm, gymnosperm. तो अगर angiosperm, gymnosperm, they belong to two different, even though sub king, जब हम two different categories की बात करते हैं, even within the gymnosperm there are the number of organisms that are totally different. आप एक एंजियोस्पर्म में आप रोजेसी को अलग करते हो पेप्लोनेसी से. ओके, आप ब्रेसिकेसी को अलग करते हो मालवेसी से. सो ये भी इवोल्यूशन है. यहाँ पे दो ऑर्गेनिजम्स को, दो क्लासेस को देखते हो, मालवेसी को देखते हो अलग है रोजेसी से, ब्रेसिकेसी को देखते हो अलग है, डिफरेंट है, इंटायरली डिफरेंट है, इंटायरली डिफरेंट है इन इट्स मॉर्फोलॉजी, Okay, entirely different है, and it is the in its we just called the taxonomic features में totally different है than of the Papillonacea or many other types of living organisms. So that's why new species are formed because of the gradual changes that have take place in the primitive living organisms. As the evolution of living organisms is called, as we will finding that हम जो पढ़ रहे हैं ना evolution पढ़ रहे हैं, लेकिन हम तो non livings का नहीं पढ़ रहे हैं ना, हम पढ़ रहे हैं living organisms. We are studying the evolution in the living organisms. That's why we are calling it is organic evolution. So organic evolution. So why it's an organic evolution? Because it's an evolution, it's a change, it's a gradual change that has take place in the living organisms. That's why it is called organic evolution. Okay, it's an organic evolution we are studying. Now there is a question arise there. Now we are studying the evolution, we are finding the various biological studies tells us that there is a origin of living organisms has take place, okay, undergoing change. A number of common features of different kinds of living organisms provides us evidence in favor of evolution. And there are we are finding totally some we are finding the evidences, we are finding the evidences which indicate the occurrence of evolution. Okay, will now give some evidences which indicates the occurrence of evolution, that evolution has really take place in an organism. These evidences reinforce the view of the view of the living organisms, view that the living organisms have evolved from the common ancestors. So we'll study certain of the features, evidences, like we'll study the homologous organisms, we'll study the analogous organisms. These homologous and analogous organisms, these are the evidences that make us understand that evolution is occur, okay, from that all the that the living organisms have common ancestor. They have common ancestor. Many of the living organisms arise from the common ancestor or common living organism. So we are finding that some of these evidences, like as there is homologous organisms, analogous organisms, and fossil and fossils. These are the evidences of evolution. Evidences means that they make we people to understand that evolution has take place. ये हम ये बताएंगे कि evolution हुआ है. तो हम पहले जो आपके एग्जाम्स के लिए पूछे जाते हैं इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस एग्जाम्स में पूछा जाता है, व्हाट आर होमोलॉगस ऑर्गन्स. होमोलॉगस ऑर्गन्स मैं बता रहा हूँ इट इज़ एन एविडेंस, लेकिन आपको डेफिनेशन पूछी जाती है एग्जाम्स में, व्हाट आर होमोलॉगस ऑर्गन्स. व्हाट आर होमोलॉगस ऑर्गन्स. ओके, देखिए, इफ यू लुक एट द वे इन विच द लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स आर मेड, जैसे हम देखते हैं कि एक लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म बना कैसे बना है, we can often see the quite striking similarities in their construction. Quite similarities will find them. One of the presence of the homologous organs. And what are these homologous organs are about? The homologous organs, those organs which have same basic structure. They have same basic structure. Keep it in mind. They have same basic structure, but are different in functions. They are different in functions. They have same structure or same basic structure or basic design. We just call they have same basic structure or basic design, but different functions. They are called homologous organs. Okay, they are called homologous organs. Now listen here. Organs which have same basic structure or basic design but different functions are called as homologous organs. Homologous organs. They are called homologous organs. Like, for example, I will give you certain examples of these homologous organs. Have you gone through the four limbs of man, जिसे हम आर्म्स कहते हैं, 4 limbs of lizard, okay, 4 limbs of frog and amphibian, 4 limbs of bird and 4 limbs of bat. 4 limbs, not hind limbs. I'm telling you about that of the 4 limbs. You know that this seems to build from the same basic design of bones, but they perform the different functions. Like if you just go through the four limbs of human or man, it is used for grasping. You can hold, you can grasp by your four limbs. The four limbs of lizard are used for running. Okay. The four limbs of frog are used to prop up. Prop up. Okay. The four end of you just find that the four limbs of the birds, they are used for they act as a they just given a design of the wings, and they use it in their flying. Okay. Now, I was just telling you that the four limbs of bird, even at the bat, they are modified flying. Since the four limbs of human, a lizard, a frog, a bird, a bat are similar in structure. They do have similar in structure. You are finding that they are similar in structure, but they perform different functions. They are the homologous organs. Now, मैंने अभी आपको बताया होमोलॉग्स ऑर्गन्स में सेम यही बता रहा था आपको कि होमोलॉग्स ऑर्गन्स होते क्या, मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ होमोलॉग्स ऑर्गन्स वो ऑर्गन्स होते हैं जिनका स्ट्रक्चर सेम है बट डिफरेंट फंक्शंस है। मैंने अभी एग्जांपल दी, कुछ बैट की दी, लिजर्ड की दी और फ्रॉग की दी, ह्यूमन बीइंग की दी। मैंने कहा इनमें ऑर्गन्स जो होते हैं जैसे ह्यूमन बींग्स के जो हैंड्स होते हैं ग्रॉस्पिंग के लिए इस्तेमाल होते हैं। हाँ, अगर आप बात करते हैं लिजर्ड की, तो लिजर्ड्स में क्या होते हैं कि द फोर लिम्स ऑफ द लिजर्ड आर यूज्ड फॉर रनिंग। अगर बात करते हैं फ्रॉग्स में आपको ये जंप करने के लिए इस्तेमाल होते हैं। लेकिन अगर यही फोर लिम्स आप इस्तेमाल कर बर्ड्स में डिस्कस कर रहे हो तो वहाँ पे बर्ड्स में ये they use it, they are modified and for flying. So we just call that they have same structure but the different functions. So they are to be called as homologous organs. Okay, so homologous organs, and these are to be called as homologous organs. जैसे मैंने कहा examples of homologous organs are four limbs of man, frog, even bat or lizard. So these are the examples of the four homologous organs: four limbs of man, four limbs of lizard, four limbs of frog, even four limbs of bird that are used for that they use they are modified for fly. Okay, so this is all about the homologous organs. Their students will discuss in coming lectures. Will study about the analogs and fossils. Okay, so it's and so thank you all.